We are up to mitzvah 32, which is another prohibitive mitzvah. It's a mitzvah loisase, number 19 in the Torah. It is found in Shemais. We're still in the Ten Commandments. This is Shemais Chaf Pasuk Yud 20, verse 10. It says, "Loisase kol malacha." You cannot do any work, really any work. And this is referring to Shabbos. You cannot do it's forbidden to do work on Shabbos. Now, this is not referred to what we call work. This is what the Torah refers to as work. How is work defined? How do we? So I'm allowed to pick up a couch and carry it across the room 100 times on Shabbos. It might not be in the flavor of Shabbos, but it's not. I'm not doing any forbidden act on Shabbos. What I'm not allowed to do. So it could be that I could carry a little teeny thing, which I've studied with. We've been learning some of the. We learned the Mishnayos, and you might carry out a tiny little bit of stuff, maybe a little seed. And when you carry that outside, right outside the door, it could be in your pocket, it could be in your hand. The person did a forbidden act. And by the way, each of these things, each of these acts that we're going to describe, if the person does them, like we said, on purpose, with witnesses, with warning, again, he's going to get stoned. He's going to be stoned to death. If he did it on purpose without any witnesses, he gets charis, we said excommunication from his soul. And if he does it by accident, he's chayiv a carbon chatos, a sacrifice. Now, there are 39 categories, that's what they are, 39 categories of what's called, it's not really work. It's we call it categories of labor, but they're not really labor. What they are is the Torah recognized that there were 39 categories of work that were used in the construction of the Mishkan, the tabernacle. In making that tabernacle, those actions became known as what the Torah considered as work. So any one of those categories you're not allowed to do. The action that was done in the making of the Mishkan is called the Av, the father, the grandfather, so to speak, of the act. However, there might have been offshoots, which we call toldos. Those are called the descendants of that original act. So there's 39 various categories. We're not going to go into them. Let's say plowing, sowing, reaping, gathering, threshing, kneading. There's a whole bunch of different things. Then there's a whole bunch of things about, the other category of, that's in making, in baking bread. Then there's something in the category of weaving. So all the different things that have to do with weaving. Making, making leather, making and heating things up, to cook them or to melt let's say the gold. So there's a lot of different things. The little numbers that had to be written on them to be able to pack them up afterwards, so you'd be able to identify everything. So the last blows, demolishing, kindling, all these different things. Now, what is the purpose of not doing any work, so to speak, on Shabbos? What is the purpose of this? And that is, if a person is caught up in work a whole week long, they're not going to be able to really focus on having any type of a connection with Hashem. However, if the person then is going to not be forbidden from doing any work, so when it comes Shabbos, he's got himself the opportunity to really only focus on developing some kind of a relationship with Hashem, with God, instead of being focused on his daily work.